everybody.
Good morning.
It's an honor and pleasure to come all the way from Detroit to share my story with you all. Thank you, Judge Jackson, for having me here. 20 years ago, I stood in the courtroom. I just turned 19 years old. I had been charged with a crime I did not commit, assault with intent to rob unarmed. I was angry, I was hurt, I was confused. But even though I was not guilty of that charge per se, I was guilty of hurting my mother. I was guilty of gangbanging. I was guilty of selling drugs. I was guilty of betraying my sisters. I was guilty of betraying the elders in my community. So when the judge sentenced me to 5 to 15 years, not realizing God sentenced me to travel the road of redemption, to travel the road of transformation. But I didn't understand what was happening in my life. Because being human beings and understanding God's power, we don't get it at that moment. Looking back at my life, by the age of 15, I had been kicked out of every Detroit public school I went to. I had co-founded a gang in the city of Detroit. Here I say I love my mother, but I'm taking her to the lion's den every day. I'm threatening her life based upon my actions and the things that I'm doing. So at the age of 15, my mother made me a ward of the state because that was the only option she had to save me from myself. And when she comes to visit me for the first time in the youth home, we as children, we want to run this guilty role on our parents. When we know we're wrong, like, how could you do this to me, Mom? I'm your only son. You say you love me, and you got me here incarcerated. But not realizing I'm the one that did not love her. Because here I was beefing with guys and bringing them to my mama's house, shooting her house up. Guys throwing firebombs at my mama's house. But again, I say I want to protect her, but not realizing my actions is leading to her destruction. Not realizing the bottles of liquor that she's drinking every night is contributing to how does she care for a son who's being co-parented by the streets. Not realizing that turmoil that she faced to make that decision. Because no parent gives birth to their child to walk them in the courtroom and say, I can't do nothing with them anymore. Can you help me? That was probably the most hurting feeling in her life. But I was in prison to anger. I was in prison to hurt. Because here I was a child that wanted a father, and a father who had abandoned me. Who I wanted love from my mother, but not knowing the challenges that she faced and the anger that came out of that love. Because when my mother would discipline me, it would be after she had drank. And so those discipline would be excessive. They would be what we consider now beatings. And I would take out everything I internalized, it has to come out. And it came out through gangbanging. It came out through jumping on teachers. Because my world was so small that life really didn't matter to me. And I only found meaning in doing what could be considered crazy things. But it was in prison that I met my father for the first time. And that relationship that we developed in prison had a tremendous impact on me transforming and redeeming my life. And that was based upon my father transforming and redeeming his life. So there would not be a Yusef Shakur if my father had not taken upon the struggle and him not realizing the impact that it would have. Because again, many of us, when we know those dark roads of not caring, when we got the demon on our shoulders telling us, you don't need to listen to them, it takes something incredible to pull you back to reality, to help you see your value as a human being. And that relationship with my father was just that powerful. Because again, those who've been to prison and who understand what prison is, there's thousands of guys, men and women who come home every day with the aspirations of wanting to do something good, but only fall back prey to who they used to be. I've been home 12 years. I've graduated from college. I've written 3 books. I've opened up a bookstore, all on a zero budget. A budget of hope, a budget of love, a budget of not giving up. Sure, I've made many mistakes. But as my father told me, what is a mistake if you don't learn from it? I'm determined. The same determination that we have to go smoke some crack, the same determination we have to go sniff some heroin, the same determination that we have to go commit a crime. I had that determination to be a father. I had that determination to make my community better than what it was. Because who's better equipped to go fix our community than those who help destroy it? That is my obligation. That is my commitment to my community. That is my debt to my society. I want you to understand that these 12 years has been the hardest of my life. I've had to fight every day. I get up. Because doing the right thing ain't the easy thing. When you make a commitment to change your life, that's when the devil really shows up. That's when your friends, you thought your friends, ain't your friends. That's when you're going to hear all the lies, all the disappointments, all the betrayal. But you got to keep fighting. You got to keep fighting. Because you don't know who you're inspiring. You don't know who looking at you and saying, because of him or because of her, I got a living chance. There's no such thing as a second chance if you don't make nothing of it. Because when you make some of your second chance, you're helping people realize that first chance. So your testimony is bigger than you. God has recruited you for a reason. Embrace that. Embrace that and watch you grow. Watch you develop. There's some days, man, I have less than $100 in my pocket. There's some days I don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. But my faith keeps me going. My faith has brought me here. My faith, our faith. My faith in doing better. Because when my weapon of choice was anger, it allowed me to do destructive things. But when my weapon of love became part of my heart, I began to do positive things. See, when I rejected God, nothing ever worked for me. But once I accepted God, everything began to work for me. This is not about a Yusef Shakur. This is about the millions of mothers that's out there that's struggling to raise their sons and their daughters. There's about the JoJo who I used to be, who's looking for guidance, who's looking for direction. Because this is not just an individual problem or that mother's, this is a society problem of alcoholism, of drugs, of prison. And we have to find better solutions. And better solutions are building better human beings. Our greatest resource of any society is people. And if we're not investing in them, we're destroying them. We're all looking for a second chance. We're all looking for someone to believe in us. But we first have to believe in ourselves. Thank you.